Here back once again. Thank you all very much for joining me here live on this drama-free, nice, cool edition of the Dukect Lounge. In fact, every episode is drama-free. You know, everything else. What have you. Anyway, moving on. Let us get into the more interesting aspects of the whole week, because there's been a lot of, let's just say a lot of E-drama happening, and I don't want to really commentate on it. Because let's be honest, what's done is done, and let's all try to move on and just be, all that type of stuff. But anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about what's happening at that whole That Guy with the Glasses, Spoonie, leaving, that type of craziness, which hopefully that thing gets solved and what have you. But it's not my place to talk about it. It's not my place to actually, to get into my whole thing, the whole craziness. So, anyway, hopefully you know everything else is good over there. Good where y'all are at, and the people who are listening here. Thank you. And by the way, thank you so much for listening. As always, to the Dukect Lounge. I love all of y'all. I love all of y'all listening. My brother love impersonation. Sorry. But anyway, thank you all seriously for listening on Blip, on YouTube, and everything else. My views and everything else have really been going up, so thank you very much. I will be doing some new content soon, regular videos and my review series, Last Reviewer Standing. It will be up. My Godzilla against Mechagodzilla review script is almost done. All I got to do is write some other stuff, and I'm going to get it done this weekend. And then after that, I am going to relax. Then I'm going to get to my TNA Anniversary review. After my TNA Anniversary review, then I'll probably do something really interesting. Because honestly, I have to say, TNA Anniversary was good, but I really am going to get my 2 cents on it, because I think it was a good show, but there were some flaws, and trust me, the flaws and some of the storylines that were heading up to the pay-per-view and such. More specifically, the flaws that were the tag match between Angle and AJ Styles, and AJ Styles and Kurt Angle taking on the tag team champions, Kazarian and Daniels, and it went ahead last night on TNA Impact, which I have to say. I had to say this. Wow. I mean, I gotta say, Impact for the past since Slammiversary, it has been really good. Besides some hiccups, Sting getting beaten down by ninjas, or no one really coming to save him. because everybody in TNA hates Sting, which I honestly, at this point, I think people are hating. I think people do hate him. And TNA security is probably the worst security in the universe. I mean, discounting all the times that Scott Hall and Sean Waltman got in back in 2 years ago, and all this type of stuff that's going on. How the heck you get three masked guys in the middle of the ring during your live broadcast attack your precious chosen one, Sting? How is this possible? But other than that, I think who was behind it and everything else. But you never know with TNA. You never know. Moving on, let's get to the Impacts. The Impacts were actually really good. Both of them, especially the Austin Aries stuff. I think these are really good. The Bound for Glory series, which again, I like the Bound for Glory series. I like wrestling tournaments and actually making house shows matter. I really wish some of the WWE would do something like that. Maybe the King of the Ring, but they're too. I don't know why. I mean, seriously, why not have the King of the Ring back? I don't know. It bothers me to see that something like this, something as great as this. Something a great tournament is just going to be completely forgotten about. It really sucks because it really made a lot of great superstars. I can even participate in the tournament, made a lot of superstars, what have you, made people even better just to get into the qualifications. Not to sniff God, not to make less of the winner, but it really shows how good you are making it to like the semifinals and everything else, that sort of thing. What else? The entire Bound for Glory series is going off with a kick so far. I still don't know why Robbie E has made it, and I'll probably make a video about this because I think this really deserves a huge video. Because honestly, this thing really bothers me, and I will probably make a full video about how Robbie E should not be in the Bound for Glory series. But what's done is done. But all in all, I am really liking Impact. In fact, I like the new girl that was actually featured in the Gut Check. I liked Taylor Hendricks. I liked her. I thought she was really good. She was actually pretty good. And honestly, TNA really does need They need something. They need they really do need a spot. I mean, some new knockouts. They need some new knockouts because the same ones over and over again aren't really helping nobody, if you know what I mean. They're not helping nobody. So the best situation for everything else is the best situation. And all that good stuff. The best one is to get some new blood and try to do something real positive with it. Because I think it's best if you do have something positive, you do have something to really build for the future. Anyway, let's get on to the more negative thing, the ending. And funny enough, it came after Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy wrestling. Anyway, the ending was basically AJ Styles and Dixie Carter coming clean to the entire thing. They're coming down, saying, "Come clean again." They're tired of all this craziness. They're tired of all of it. They're tired of all the Daniels and Kazarian, the blackmail. They were going to say, "Screw it. We're going to come and we're going to come out there and tell the story." And in the middle of it, AJ was like, "Screw it. Don't care. We're not going to do anything." And then next year you have this weird, random random woman comes out comes out crying, and AJ and Dixie seems to know her. And then she gets on the microphone, and boy, her acting. I mean, wow, her acting was bad. I'm not saying it was bad, it was bad. I mean, just amazingly bad. I have never in my life. I mean, this was something right out of. This is right out of the Room territory bad. I mean, the acting was so terrible. And she made Dixie Carter look. No, yeah, Dixie Carter and her were just terrible. It was just very, very bad segment. And everything else it was just terrible. And then you have Daniels and Kazarian run out there, and AJ takes both of them down. And I was just in gobsmacked, saying, "What the hell was that?" I don't know what was that entire ending segment, her acting and everything else. And basically, it boils down to basically this. What she said, and what's going on is she has a problem with drugs and what have you. She has a drug problem, this, that, and the other. It's a very terrible addiction, what have you. It was a terrible addiction, and she went to ask help of Dixie Carter and AJ Styles. She's like, Dixie, she said that Dixie's like family to her. AJ's the same way. They got them to help. And then she explained the photos and all this type of stuff. Like it was her in the photos AJ was talking to. It was Dixie and AJ going to meet to basically talk to her, going on this secret stuff, making sure that her family didn't really know. Making sure that her family didn't know about the addictions and such, or what have you. Now, and that makes some. I mean, some will say, okay, that makes sense. But here's the thing. One, AJ and Dixie could have squashed this thing right from the start. I mean, why put their families? Serge and AJ's wife, what have you, and their kids, put them into this emotional state that, oh my gosh, these people who he trusted with and everything else, and they've been doing this stuff behind our backs. Why? I mean, that type of emotional standpoint, saying AJ, and the whole torpedoing of AJ Styles basically being this great character and all this type of stuff. Put that just in question. I mean, it just would destroy AJ Styles' just good guy image, or what have you. And what about Serge? Serge is supposedly Dixie's husband. So was he trusted and all this type of stuff. And why didn't she tell him this? And in fact, why didn't Serge knew about this? It just really boggles my mind. Why didn't they tell them? It goes like the point of why couldn't Dixie and AJ just tell them? And another thing is that why is Kazarian? Did Daniels trick Kazarian onto this stuff? Because it looked like maybe he did, but if it just feels like it was just all in. Because remember, Kazarian, Taz for short or what have you, was just very hesitant to attack AJ. Was very hesitant to go after AJ Styles for whatever reason. It really resented Christopher Daniels. And somehow, for whatever reason, he now jumps in and everything else. And now, Christopher Daniels, I remember this, he was actually questioning Daniels, saying, "Who is this girl? What are you talking about? I thought they were doing all this type of stuff." And Christopher Daniels looked, "Oh, what was she doing here?" and everything else. which will probably do something even more disturbing and downright even more, just very uncomfortable and just very, very, it's not going to really lead to anything, new, because, honestly, and here's one of the main problems of this whole storyline. One of the main problems of it is that it won't lead to a wrestling match. I mean, we already had the conclusion after the tag team match in Kurt Angle and AJ and Daniels and Kazarian. I mean, it's just going to boil down to AJ and Daniels, which, honestly, as great as it is, I mean, AJ and Daniels can still wrestle, the lights down, all that type of stuff. They're that good, but we've seen that 1,000 times. Personally, why do we have to keep the heel Daniels and face AJ? How about we do something different? How about a little something crazy? How about heel AJ and face Daniels? How about if, say, AJ lost to for example, what would happen if Destination X, that Christopher Daniels beats AJ Styles? And AJ just like, what? I lost? I don't lose to you, or what have you, and everything else, and tries to, and just say, oh, I was upset, that sort of thing, and just like Daniels, oh, I understand, everything else like that, like, oh, I understand, they say people get upset, and I say crazy things, it's cool, and Daniels give AJ the benefit of the doubt. Next thing you know, you have another match or what have you, Daniels beats AJ again, and he's like, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. And, that sort of thing, it starts to build up. The anger and everything else is, as we all know, AJ is the pinnacle of TNA. He's the guy who wins out of the matches, everything else. He is the TNA's golden boy and all that good stuff. And then, he snaps or something. Like, how dare you beat me? I am a TNA champion. I have done things you have never done before, Daniels. I carried you for all these years or something. Have him snap, beat up Daniels and say, you don't beat me, I beat you. You're the background character, this, that, the other. You're the guy carrying my bags and everything. That's what you are. That would have, and then have him eventually, build him up, or not only beat AJ, but eventually have him win the championship or something. That would be more interesting. Have Daniels actually beat, eventually become champion, like around Lockdown or maybe this year's Bound for Glory, if you could really book it, right? I know you're doing with some with James Storm, but I feel like if James Storm should have won I think James Storm, while this whole slow burn to the championship with him at Bound for Glory, which is nice, is, hey, I like the fact you're keeping the championship on for a year. But I still think that James Storm should have won at Lockdown, even though the crowd was, didn't really deserve it. But that's my personal opinion. I could be wrong, and I would like to hear any comments about my little story time, my whole little storyline or what have you. I would like to hear anyone, comment that, this, that, the other. But honestly, I think that would have been a lot more interesting to have Daniels rise up from AJ and actually do that sort of thing. Would have been more interesting, more productive, and see Daniels in a new light, see AJ in a new light, and give him a little championship push. That sort of thing. Maybe after the Bound for Glory series or something. I think that would have been a lot better. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break now. We'll be right back when we talk about some more interesting storyline developments to the WWE Tag Team Division. We'll be right back here on the Dukect Lounge. And we are back live here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me. Phone number is 724-444-7444. Once again, the phone number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Dukect Lounge. You guys are great, and I love all they are for it. But anyway, we're going to be taking on to another direction. We're going to be talking about WWE. And we're going to be talking about the WWE tag team situation, tag team division. Now, the tag team division, as I see it right now, has been, well, I gotta be honest with you, it has been a little more exciting. I mean, they're trying, the WWE is trying. I mean, they have the Usos with not much of a crowd reaction. You have you have Kofi and his partner of the week, R-Truth, who is injured with a foot injury, so he might be out for a while, and he might be back by Money in the Bank. But here's another. Here is, the other tag teams, Primo and Epico, and the, so you have Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rex. You have the primetime players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Those guys. And honestly, I'm going to talk about the primetime players and the Primo and Epico. Now, the reason why I'm talking about these two teams is that these two teams are in the storyline for the number one contendership for the tag team championships. Now, what happened is that when Primo and Epico, when they were tag champions, they had little to no mic time. They basically just went out there, jobbed, or somehow, until they got to a championship match, and they won their championship matches. What have you. They won, but, that sort of thing. But most of the time they jobbed. And basically no one really cared. The only characteristics about their team is, well, Rosa Mendez is good looking. That's basically it. Well, she is, but it just seems like there was nothing else there. And they won the tag belts. They didn't get featured at WrestleMania. I think, getting in, there was no one really there to feature because the tag team division wasn't really as interesting as it is now. It's not really interesting, but at least it's more interesting than it was, a couple of months ago. But I digress. And then, they lost to Kofi and R-Truth, which is funny because they got the tag team championships from Air Boom, Kofi and Evan Bourne. Evan Bourne, who failed well in this not once but twice, and now is injured. So I don't know where his WWE career is. But anyway, you have these two guys and everything else, this team, and they've been all this like big and bad and everything else, and then they didn't really do much until they start talking to AEW. Abraham Washington. And he started doing this all-world production quality and this whole all-world thing they're doing, all-world, this new stable. And him and talking to not only Primo and Epico and everything else, and also talking to Mason Ryan as well. And it seems that they were doing something, but in the end, they weren't really on television. They're barely on television, and they seem like they got less mic time and less any type of development with AEW. Basically the same type of stuff. Not less, but just reasonably the same. They didn't get any mic time. All they did was watch matches with them. And then they let the title rematch lapse after 30 days or what have you. And AEW got this whole fatal four-way tag division match, thinking to them that, oh, yeah, we can use this to win, get more publicity about the tag teams and such. Even though when they went out there, there was no real reaction or what have you. Some people say that No Way Out had a dead crowd, but they were still lively for some things. They were lively for the Ziggler-Sheamus match. And honestly, I think the reason why they were dead is because of that stupid Tuxedo match, which the championship was not defended. Yeah. When's the last time Santino actually defended that title? And speaking of defending titles, why hasn't Santino defended the championship against Alberto Del Rio yet? Del Rio beating him twice, beating him twice, and basically should be getting the next number one contendership. But, that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. Anyway, let's get on to the rest of the stuff. No Way Out. And it looks like Primo Epico were going to win, but AW betrays them as he partners up with the primetime players, and the crowd reacts to, indifference because Primo and Epico don't really have any characters. No one really cares about them. The crowd has no reason to cheer, no reason to boo them, besides these are guys who just, have, these guys of Puerto Rican descent with a hot, I think, was she a manager? I don't know what Rose is. But that was it. There's no real character development. Why should we cheer them? Why should we boo them? At least the primetime players have something of a character. These guys, the Primo and Epico, have no character. There's no real reason why to cheer them, to boo them, to do anything with them. It's just downright frustrating because, honestly, I think these two guys could be something really special, and when they do have long matches, they can be really good. They are really talented. Both of these guys are really talented. But if they got mic time, if they got not only mic time, but actually some real good character development, stop with the silly crap that is, all the stupid segments with Santino, what have you, or, with the Big Show and John Cena, I think most people will agree if we actually start cutting on that, we actually have some good matches and what have you. They might actually start, people will actually start connecting with them. When there's no real connection with them, when there's no real reason why the people are caring, then you're just going to get crickets. And it's a shame because I think there are some really good tag teams there I think people would really like Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel. I think that those two guys could really work. Heck, I think Justin Gabriel could be a really good babyface if they gave him the time and energy to do so. Time and energy to really push them. And that's the problem with the WWE. They just waste time on superficial crap instead of actually pushing the real type of talent. And just biting them in the butt right now because there's no real mid-card. They're trying to rebuild the tag division to what it is, but at the end of the day, no one really cares about them because, no character development, no real chance of progression, and my personal opinion, their tag team belts look like complete garbage. But I could be wrong, but that sort of thing. Anyway, that's it for me. Today on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for listening. This is Dukect here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.